Hello everybody! Today I thought we were supposed to be working on carbohydrates, but actually we're working on reactions and organic chemistry. So to start us out, I thought I'd talk about the difference between inorganic compounds and organic compounds. Inorganic compounds are things that contain little to no carbon. So for example, hydrochloric acid contains no carbon, therefore it is an inorganic compound. Whereas organic compounds contain lots of carbon, such as sugar, C6H12O6, as you can see, has lots of carbon. So that is an organic compound. Now at the grocery store, organic means grown without pesticides and chemicals and antibiotics. But in biology, organic just means contains lots of carbon. Most of the carbon compounds that we have, the organic compounds, also contain lots of hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So if you can remember, C for carbon, H for hydrogen, O for oxygen, and N for nitrogen, just remember chonies. Your chonies are all the elements that are found in organic chemistry. There's a few others like phosphorus and sulfur too, but those four are the main ones. So just remember chonies. Those are your four. Okay, moving on to the next page. Now, why is carbon so cool? Why is carbon the basis of all organic life? Because, one, it has 4 binding sites, which means it also has 4 valence electrons. So look down here. That is carbon. And as you can see, it's got 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons. Now, the 2 on the inside are unable to play with anybody else because they're tucked inside. But these 4 right around here, these guys are very special and important because they are able to be shared or stolen from other atoms nearby. So these guys are the valence electrons. Valence just means on the outside. And the valence electrons are the ones that are available for bonding. So there's 4 binding, or you can say bonding, B-O-N-D, bonding sites for other things to stick to. So an easy way to think of this is imagine that each of these electrons is a hand that is able to reach out and grab onto other things. So he can grab onto 4 other items. Okay, the next reason why carbon is so cool is that it makes really strong covalent bonds. And if you remember from yesterday, covalent means sharing. So it's very, very good to share electrons with other compounds. Another reason why carbon is so cool is that because it's got 4 hands, it can form lots of different shapes, like chains, right here. So there's a chain of 3 carbons. It can form rings, like down here. As you can see, that's a ring of carbon. And it can even make really complex things like this with a carbon in the middle and then branched out things from there. So the fact that it can form chains, rings, and complex structures also makes it really, really cool. And the last reason why carbon is so cool is that it can make what are called single, double, and triple bonds. And what that means is that between the 2 elements, if they each share 1 electron with each other, that makes a single bond. If they share 2 electrons with each other, each one contributes 2 to share, that's a double bond. And if each one contributes 3 electrons to share, then we call that one a triple bond. And the more bonds you put, the stronger it is. And so triple bonded carbons are super duper strong. So here's a single bond right here. This one right here, that's a double bond right there. Okay, so those are the reasons why carbon is so cool. Now moving on, carbon is the basis of what are called macromolecules. Macro means big, molecule means molecule. So a macromolecule is just a big molecule that's made out of lots of smaller molecules. Now those smaller molecules we call monomers. Mono just means 1, mer means unit. So right here, 1 unit. So monomers are the basic building block of macromolecules. So these Legos right here are monomers. As you can see, there's lots of different kinds, but they're all individually. There's some big long ones right here. There's some short ones. There's little tiny ones like that, but they're all different. And so there's lots of different kinds of monomers, depending on what type of molecule we're looking at. So depending on the molecule, we've got lots of different monomers. Okay, now if I take two of those guys and smush them together, I get what's called a dimer, di-2-mer unit, so 2 units. So like this little picture right here is showing a dimer, has 2 Lego units stuck together. And then we can take those carbon-based molecules and put them together and make a polymer. Poly means 3 or more, so 3 or more units, like this little guy right here. And so all the molecules in our body are built off of this. We have individual monomers that come together to make dimers. Dimers come together to make polymers. So that means the word polymer and macromolecule are exactly the same. They're the same. And it's also the same as organic molecule. So organic molecule, macromolecule, polymer, they're all pretty much the same exact word. Okay? Now, by putting the pieces together, you don't just take 2 monomers and shove them together. It doesn't work like that. So we do a process called dehydration synthesis. And what happens is the word synthesis means to put together. Dehydration means to lose water. When you're dehydrated, you are losing water. So what it is you take any of the monomers, so that's this guy right here, and any other monomer, that's this guy right here, and they have these little OHs, little groups sticking out of them. So what happens is when they come together and form a bond right here, one of the O's stays, but one of the H's and the other OH falls out. Well, HOH is water. So here's a little drop of water right there. Well, one molecule. And so dehydration synthesis literally means I lose water when I put 2 things together. Another name for this one is called the condensation reaction, because condensation, as you know, when it forms outside of your cup, you get little drops of water all around the outside, water forming. And so same idea is that you're getting water forming when you put 2 things together. So if I want to put 2 molecules of glucose together to make a bigger sugar, that would be done with a dehydration synthesis or condensation reaction. And so, and I can just keep this going. You know, I've got another OH on this side, another smiley face right there, another OH right there. And so these guys can get together, and hey, look, now I've just made a little chain. Okay, well, when we eat our food, we need to break the items apart, not put them together. So now, how do I break them apart? This process is called hydrolysis. The hydro refers to water. Lysis means to split or break. So hydrolysis is when you use a molecule of water to break polymers apart. So here's my water, HOH or H2O. And see, here's a little bond that I created earlier. Well, I'm going to cut that bond right here. One of the H's is going to go stick to the O to make OH. And then this OH is going to come over here and stick right here. And so now I've got my 2 individual monomers again. So here's the dimer right here, 2 pieces stuck together. Insert water, that makes it split in half, and then I end up with 2 monomers when I'm all done. Okay? I'm sorry, my pen is going crazy. It's not making nice smooth lines. It's like all crazy cycle. So anyway, hydrolysis, so that's why we drink when we eat, because the water that we drink helps us to break down the food so we can use these individual pieces. So if this is glucose right here, well, we're going to use that to provide energy for our body. All right, last thing is that there are 4 types of organic compounds, or macromolecules, or what was the other one? Polymer. Okay, remember, they're all the same. There are 4 main types. First one, carbohydrates, which is right here. And you can see it is a simple sugar or polymer composed of simple sugars. And so these are things like breads and pastas, yummy things. We have proteins, which you can see right here. And this is a polymer that is made up of amino acids, otherwise symbolized with big A, big A. We have lipids right here, which are fats and oils and waxes. Even steroids and hormones are types of lipids. And then we have nucleic acids, which is right here. And these are polymers that are made out of sugars, bases, and phosphoric acid. So what we're going to do over the next week or so is we're going to go through each one individually, and then we're also going to show you how you can test food for the presence of each one, except for nucleic acids. If it's alive, it's got nucleic acid in it, so there's no point in testing that. So we're going to we're going to show you how to test your lunch for different food items present in there. All right, so tomorrow you're going to get a packet that goes along with all this kind of stuff, and you'll have time to finish up your lab. So have a wonderful Thursday evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Bye. Say bye, Valenie.
Bye-bye!
Say hi.